So you're going to make the decision. And I've come into this frame of reference and hologram of an idea about yourself to help, perhaps, you decide the outcome that you want in the reflection of light, in the necessity for you to recognize your relationship with yourself. Okay, I was out wandering around in here, meeting galactically all sorts of new identities based on the repetition in which they are performing in the ritual of converting the darkness to the light of them, without the necessity to define what the relationship of the darkness is. Can you see this with me? That is, no matter what procedure I utilize in the idea, say to me, I'm going to be me.
I'm going to be me.
Yes, I'm going to sit down here and I'm going to talk to you about it. Okay? And the manner in which I've decided to talk to you about it is very simply to let you apply within your mind, okay, the activity that you are already utilizing in order to verify reflections of light within the angles of resistance. Some of you are saying, what's going on with this guy? Those of you who were fortunate, perhaps, in seeing the idea that the science of your mind says very simply, okay, that no matter how far you look out into the universe, you're going to end up within the circle, right back where you started. Well, it's one thing to say that. It's quite another for you to understand that what we just offered you was a relationship of an idea that you are already in possession of in the manner of your thinking process. Thinking process. Process of thinking. Process of thinking. Process of thinking. That no matter how I get reflections, there always seems to be another element there that doesn't quite fit in with the realization of mine. How can I perform this? I'm going to take, with your permission, in the idea that you perhaps have seen now, the idea that it's necessary for us to allow ourselves to be constantly converted from the idea of the darkness of our self-identity to the particulars of reflection of light that I just saw you flash at me, to be followed almost immediately by a protective device that you imply for fear that you'll actually be revealed for a moment in your entirety. Because as we remind you in the idea that the universe is waiting for you, you keep returning in this circle of the particulars of the time in order to protect yourself in all of the degrees and angles of how you're appearing to yourself in that reflection. Now, the purpose of the remaining 21 minutes on this video is nothing but to convert the agency of the reflection of a hologram of your light that is giving you distinct images of ideas about yourself and how you look, with the provision that the loose solution, the new, yes, the new solution that I am offering you is connected to the, say to me, thoughts.
Thoughts.
Yeah, the thoughts you're having. And if we just read to you the truth of the matter, are only followed by reflections of light in which you pertain what you are within that arrangement. Now, the 20 minutes that I have left are going to be directed to ideas of harmony of light in what you term prayers or holograms of light or factors of deep meditation in which you're going to enclose yourself momentarily, like that, within the idea. Say to me, it's not out there.
It's not out there.
No, it's not out there. Fundamentally, the prayers that you're utilizing now our admission in the mind training that the faculty you intend to use will be a faculty wherein the expansion of you is occurring. Listen, admittedly, with a moment that what appears to be the factoring out there is something other than you. Now, the idea that you have already entertained within the what we call the philosophy or religion of yourself is the admission that you are aware of the idea of exchange within the sequence of what you think you are. That was a flash of light right there. Now it's gone. Now there's one right there. Now it's gone. Watch with me. Here's the proceeding I'd like to have you use. Now we're down to 17 and a half minutes. I'm about to go into the meditative technique that I use in regard to a simple prayer that can be given to you since you're constantly asking for something that you want within your own arrangement of yourself anyway. It's necessary that I make definitive examples of my certainty of the non-existence of the space that you appear to occupy. Now, you're very happily to admit to me that you come into a sequence, and I'm demonstrating it to you now. You live within this idea of being 126 years old, which is the latest statistic that you have given me. Now, you measure me from the beginning of the idea of the memories that you brought with you in this sequence have projected into the future in order to gain a reference. Look with me. This mind training in improving the reflection of light is going to show you a time in which the instant conversion of the idea of, I'm going to use a word here, say to me mistake, in the idea that out in the universe there was a corrective procedure of a mistake that ensued in the idea, this is called the black hole, or the darkness of you, or the moment, say to me, Big Bang.
Big Bang.
Yeah, or the moment of the collapse of energy that brought this about. And well, you like to entertain the idea of the faculty as you examine it, the idea that the actual faculty of it are the necessity for your own admission of the cosmological recognition that the hologram of light in which you are witnessing is nothing, say to me, reality.
Reality.
It's nothing but reality, yes. This little book, now we're down to 14 minutes, is going to describe that to you. Okay, here I came in, I'm sitting down with you, you've gathered around me, we have our little books. We're going to commence with this, aren't we? Shall we commence with it? This little book? Huh? Let's look together at what it says. Shall we do that? I have this in my possession, don't I? I have in my possession, when I came in here, the idea that pi is going to be an extra ingredient that no matter how I divide it up, by the time I was 7 years old in the fraction of the idea of energy, I knew I was dealing with 22 sevenths. And that when I tried to divide 7 into 22, I ended up with 21, with an extra dangle particle of an idea of myself, that no matter how I enforced it within the idea, I ended up with this little book. With this little book. Will you listen with me? Now, the class that you've come into is a continuation of the success that you have manifest in being in this cycle of time and leaving, because it's impossible in the requirement of the mind training that you are not successful in the notation that the action of your mind in coming from a specific location without any regard to what the location was except the conversion thereof. The action of conversion is what you have learned in your journey out into the universe.